Hey all, Shellback Bow here. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. Just didn't have anything to really talk about, but I've been thinking about the progression in your campaigns in the OSR and what my expectations, I think, would be in an open-ended sandbox style campaign, and that would be, level 1 and 2 and 3. You focus on the dungeon, but you start as a character. But by level 3, you should be an expedition leader. So you have a full retinue, uh, porters, torchbearers. You've got some guards with you. You've got uh, basically a backup character, uh, retainer that you're, in case your character goes, bites the dust or whatever, or when you get more to the domain level, they're getting there, and your backup character should be making half XP and one portion of the one share of the treasure, as OSE would do it. But then, as you reach level 3, that's when your first dungeon is kind of uh, emptied out, or at least the first few levels, and that's when you're feeling confident enough to start with your hex exploration, and that's when you should be starting to clear the wilds around, the nearby hex grid, and you should be getting XP for clearing uh, hexes as well, which is how uh, I plan on just putting that as part of the experience gaining for my rule set and my campaign or campaigns. And then, so as you clear a 6 mile hex, you've got yourself an entire, you've got extra XP for that. So you're not just looking for treasure, but you're also clearing and settling and making safe the wilds around your home or the campaign's home city or HQ. The keep on the borderlands would qualify as the HQ. And then, levels 3 to 6, maybe 8, you're doing this, and at level 5, you've become a named man. If anyone who's read the First Law trilogy by, I forget his name, one of the protagonists is Logan Ninefingers. He's a berserker, which means that when he goes into battle, there's a chance that he loses his consciousness, gets taken over by an alternate character who's just himself, but just doesn't understand friend from foe and is just a beast of a warrior. And Logan Ninefingers is constantly trying to suppress this alternate ego. But all the characters who are from his warband are named characters. They're named men, and that means that they've got some renown with them. And so any one of them could be leading a warband of their own, but their warbands wouldn't. But because Logan Ninefingers is capable of running a warband of named men, that means he's level. He's a titled man himself, not just a named man. So named men are like level 5 in my book, and then a titled character would be your lord or baron level characters for adventurers. I'm just trying to shift, give you some insight on what my future game using the. I haven't settled on the name exactly yet, but it's Ignited Dice Engine. It might be Ignite the Dice, it might be Ignition Dice, but when you hear me refer to it, but As of right now, it's Ignited Dice engine. But named characters are, named men are level 5, level 4, level 5, and then, they're capable of leading a warband of unnamed, retainers. So they are hero units, in wargaming terms. And so for a band of 10 to 12 men to have a hero, that's going to be extra. That's going to be an extra modifier if you're running as a skirmish rules, or even into the epic. You're going to see higher level characters, sergeants, and named men and heroes are going to grant you bonuses. And yes, I am simultaneously building an TTRPG, but I'm also I'm trying to incorporate a seamless transition into a wargaming so that you can have your domain level characters providing their armies upon the battlefield and have it as seamless a transition as possible, which D&D just never did in any edition. They all had bolt-on. Well, you can use chainmail. Oh, you can use the battle system. Oh, you can use the miniatures game system or whatever that the 3. WotC's 3 third edition had. I don't remember what it's called. Miniatures Handbook. But I'm trying to insert that as well because I'm a war gamer just as much as a tabletop role-playing game guy. And I think it's very important that if you're going to have domain play, then you need to have a war game capable rule set plugged into it. And then, of course, by level 9, your character should have already built at least something. The fighter should have a keep at that point. And if he's by levels 6 and 7, you should be receiving quests to, the game master should be giving the players quests so that they can establish themselves, so that by level 9, okay, you have a keep here. I'm granting the lands around this keep because you've already cleared it. You've done the work from level 4 to level 9. You're now baron of this land. Oh, cleric, you've built a shrine here when you were level 2, and you built a shrine over there, and you've got a parish over here. You've got a church that you built. You've commissioned and are overseeing the construction of a cathedral next to the fighter's keep. Yeah, you're level 9 now, and you've got a cathedral being built. Okay, you're not just a priest. We're making you a bishop. And the church would be doing that, whatever. And then, or the druid. Okay, well, you're a druid, but you've established yourself as protector of these hexes of woodland, of these wilds. Okay, well, we're gonna, the Druid Council is granting this area to you as your domain because you've already put in the work. And it should be a transition from just dungeon delving and lair clearing to hex clearing and making safe into domain play. It should be very it should be a seamless transition. It shouldn't be, oh, well, you're level 9, okay, well, let's go ahead and force this quest on you. The quest should have already been given, and they're finishing the quest by level 9. And if they're not, that's when the king or whoever is like, hey, are you not interested in this? Okay, well, how about becoming a company commander? Maybe the characters don't want to be a lord. Joe the lawyer said that he's not interested in domain play as a character or as a player. but maybe he would like to be maybe his character would prefer to be a company commander of a mercenary group or an adventuring guild, adventure guild mercenary group. They're so similar in definition that it's hard to separate the two. So maybe that's what you want at level 9, and then you play on until level 14 or 15. Whatever your rule set maxes out to. 18, and the wizard has around level 4 is like, okay, well, I need a laboratory so that I can research the new spells. Okay, well, I need to improve my laboratory. Okay, well, I've got a room in the keep or I've got a wing of the keep that the fighter's building. Okay, well, this wing isn't really big enough for me anymore, so I need my own tower. There's so many different things that you could do, and it should be something that the rule set should have something in there that tells the players that, hey, here's ideas for you to push for your characters. It shouldn't be something that says that, oh, the DM's going to give you a quest for that. Wait until the DM gives you a quest. And that's how I read first edition, and that's how I read OSE, or basic anyway. OSE says first level the fighter has the ability to make a keep. That's really cool. I like that. Because it says, hey, you have permission to go and build or renovate some ruins and turn it into a keep. And now they have a goal with their money. And the other characters are having to wait because they haven't been given permission by basic or expert or whatever until they get to the titled level associated with the ability for that. So that's going to be something that I'm putting in my rule set, and don't look this year for my rule set to come out. I'll be building a Patreon eventually, or probably Ko-fi instead, because Ko-fi's got a better. They don't take as much money out of the cut, so for every dollar that you put in to a Patreon takes like 7 to 10%, and Ko-fi takes like 3, I think. Don't quote me on that. I haven't looked at those numbers in like 2 years, so I don't know exactly what those numbers are. But those are my thoughts on the transition from beginning play to becoming an expedition leader, to become to a exploration leader, to becoming a domain leader, and leading others and running wargaming sessions and domain play. And domain play should definitely be something that's done unless the entire party is trying to do a session that's associated with domain play. Like, okay, we need to go and do whatever quest to help ensure. Like, maybe there's a village with a really great quarry nearby, but you gotta rescue it and secure it and make sure that it's safe, so that the quarry workers and the masons are able to go work on your keep and your tower and your temple. That's cool, but that's a great quest. That's something that the players can go and seek out on their own, so that the DM doesn't have to look for it, and the DM can just put in, oh, there's this village over here that's renowned for their quarry because they have this really cool marble, or they have this really nice granite, or whatever material, or there's a mine over here that's abandoned, but it was abandoned under mysterious circumstances, and it's rumored to have mithril in it, or it's rumored to have a really solid iron ore, or it's really or there's this forest here and it's known for its cedar. Well, cedar's really great for a temple. Mithril's great for certain types of applications. You can put those into your explorations and whatnot, as rumors. And it would be really nice to have those as a player, because those are just seeds for adventure. The players can choose what they want to do. There's no pressure on them for, oh, you got to rescue the princess. Oh, she's in another castle. Let the players do what they want and have it, have guidelines and influence, but don't push them towards something without, just remind them, hey, you can do this. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. Have fun gaming, everybody. Out.